Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a very special episode of Uncanny Treks, where we nostalgically revisit our time with Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four run. That's right, we're covering the John Hickman, Sanford, Greene, Doom one-shot that dropped on Wednesday. I'm Bob in Cascadia. That's Matt in the Southland. Matt, how are you doing this evening?
Man, Bob, it was a giant-sized Doom, and there was a giant-sized Doom in the issue, so I was excited.
Yeah, it lived up to its giant-sized Doom name. Yeah. So, Matt, it's written by Hickman, or I guess maybe more co-plotted and scripted by Hickman. We know Hickman. We love Hickman. But then it's penciled and co-plotted by Sanford Greene. Do you know him?
I don't have a clue who that is, Bob.
He's a great artist. I believe he's from South Carolina. Black dude. Has a really fun, cartoony art style. I really like his run as the penciler on David Walker's Luke Cage and Iron Fist from maybe about 5-7 years ago. That was a really good comic.
Okay, yeah, I'm not familiar with his work, but it was great in this issue.
And a lot of times I think he draws more grounded, cartoony stuff, so him going very cosmic-y and very event comic-y for this was an interesting departure.
He has some very interesting ways of showing the fighting scenes and how a lot of the big battles take place. I enjoyed it. We'll talk about it as we go through.
Yeah, very much so, very much so. So, Matt, to open up, were you surprised that it was our dear Valeria from Hickman's Fantastic Four run rescuing Doom, or that she was talking to Herbie, the computer?
I mean, we know Valeria and Uncle Doom have that strong connection from the Hickman run, so it didn't really surprise me that much to see her the one rescuing Doom or trying to get Doom to be central to her plan. Now, Herbie, on the other hand, he to me he's some other Iron Man AI at this point. He's just somebody that talks to her and is in her head. I was more concerned at this point though when I first started the issue of like, where is Franklin?
Well, and we do see him later on the splash page with the Future Foundation, right?
Do we? I think we do. Yeah, he is. Is that him or is that someone else? Because I get a lot of those Future Foundation kids look the same to me.
Yeah, that's a concern.
I think you're right. Sometimes I think it's a Power Pack kid, and sometimes I think it's Franklin, or it could be Bentley 13's
page 17. I think it's Franklin and Val are at the bottom of the panel in between Reed and Ben.
Forgive me if I'm wrong. Okay, that's Franklin as a child. Franklin as an adult.
Yeah, he makes Galactus his herald.
Yeah.
I think maybe maybe I'm wrong. Maybe there's some detail I missed, but I think the safest assumption would just be that poor Franklin gets killed along with the other heroes, yeah. And it's just pretty grim. And so, as grim as the comic is, in some ways, it didn't want to go that grim, and so it just downplays it.
They didn't want Galactus being a child murderer.
Matt, on a lighter note, did you like Val having the same helmet look that her dad and Xavier do in Hickman comics?
Okay, I didn't catch that at first. I thought it was a spacesuit or something, but it is a very nice detail. I think that's the next step in human-machine evolution, even for us, Bob. All of us are going to be walking around with those helmets on, stuck on our social media, everyone except for you.
Except for me, Matt, except for me. For page 10 and 11 of this, I was wondering if maybe the joke title for this that Hickman put on the script was Galactus Gone Wild.
Yeah, I have to admit that I've never seen an issue or comic where Galactus destroys everything. I mean, everything. I mean, he kills all the heroes I recognize, and even the ones I don't. He just strikes out alien races on an entire page. I mean, whole alien races just gone, all dead. And then he starts sparring with Celestials towards the end. I mean, this is cosmic level going on here.
So, Matt, what you're saying is that you've seen Hungry Galactus?
No, Bob, I've seen Hangry Galactus, Bob. Yeah. I have very, very Hangry Galactus, and it's on page 13. Perfect illustration of Hangry Galactus.
There's a lot of great Galactus drawings on this. So you get Hangry Galactus on, I think it might be 14 for me, but then So on page 17 we get the first of several splash pages, right? And this one's a double page splash, and it's sectioned in a cool way where you have the top left third is the X-Men, the middle third is the Avengers, and then the the top right third drawn on page 17. Not like your favorite character, but just the way, the way they're drawn. What was your favorite drawing?
I like the Colossus with his beard, with the where Submariner as. It looks like that's a separate. I thought it was strange looking at first. It's almost like he's love Batman. Just not used to seeing that.
Yeah, usually I think we see one power Thor leading Neil. He's one pack kids, but he could be Bentley 23. But I think you're right, Supermaning, and that's just a really funny pose for Dragon Man to be like Superman.
You don't get to see them slaughtered, but you know they were there.
And then 17, not like your favorite, but just the way
The way they're
what was
drawn.
your favorite drawing?
I like the with his beard. Colossus with a beard
yeah.
is fancy. I love that. Colossus always needs a.
Yeah.
And then Thor is drawn in this awkward position that I thought was strange looking at first. It's almost like he's jumping like Batman. Just not used to seeing that.
Yeah, usually you see Mjolnir like lead Thor, and here it's like Thor leading Mjolnir. It's interesting.
Yeah. What about Bob?
Oh man, I Dragon Man because he's like Supermaning, and that's just a really funny pose for Dragon Man to be like Supermaning.
Well, then, Bob, we're rewarded with yet another splash page with all kinds of heroes. Once again, different characters from the previous.
Yeah, and do you want to
Daffy Duck? It's just ridiculous to see him there.
Yeah.
But he's a Marvel mainstay. He's
like worth noting?
yeah. There's like a big fight going on in the center. But then you have these like little square things that were they've like zoomed in on the. I recognized all these characters except for one of each one. I think that's the best way I can describe it. Or like little monitors almost of little people.
Yeah, no, it's very cool. I think on this page, my favorite drawing might be a girl in Devil Dinosaur in one of these panels, and you kind of like clutching on to Devil Dinosaur's head. It's a very cool image.
Yeah. My favorite is Howard the Duck acting like he's going to do something. I mean, he looks like Howard the Duck is so like Daffy Duck. It's just ridiculous to see him there.
Yeah.
But he's a Marvel mainstay. He exists. We're okay with him. He's there. But
I like that he's got his tongue out. That's very funny. Tongue.
I recognized all these characters except for one. Who is the Let me go get my comic. Hold on. I recognized him, so I gave. Okay, Bob, I'm back. Let's see. Miss Marvel, where are you?
Where it's to page divide would be a little to the left, above She-Hulk, below Miles Morales,
Oh, Miss Marvel, here we go.
below Galactus's mouth.
Guy with a
Yeah.
stretchy arm. I've read from this. See, I can't remember the character's name, but I've seen him before.
I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's Machine Man.
Yes. Okay. I've seen this guy before. Like I recognized him, so I gave myself credit for that one. So I was like, I've seen them in something because I remember the arms and the way the head looks and everything. Yeah.
And then one I'm sure about. Do you know? Is that Speedball above Thor's forearm?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
Yes, that is Speedball right there. Yep. And there's Sunfire over there on the right, correct?
Yeah.
In the upper corner there. Taskmaster, Man Thing, Captain Britain.
You are you sure that I think above? Are you saying
No, above Sunfire. That face. One face, yeah.
No, that's North Star's sister.
Oh, the arm. I didn't even see the arm.
Yeah,
Sorry. Okay.
yeah.
Now you artist drawing all these characters, sticking the arms in random ass places.
And then I'm not totally sure. Above Taskmaster, is that Jocasta?
Yeah.
Okay, the android from the Avengers who have not read much.
That's Jocasta. And then,
do you like Jubilee's got the bubble gum popping?
Yeah, of course, Bob. She has to have the bubble gum popping. She's about to die.
More, I think it's Monica Rambeau.
Yeah, that's Monica Rambeau.
It doesn't look like how the Human Torch's flame is usually drawn.
I'm assuming that is the Human Torch characters. There's not discerning. Between,
Where's the flaming dude at?
Right about Morales.
That's hard to say.
That could be a number of people.
the black flame is Sunspot.
Yeah.
But then would be Human Torch. Maybe that would be. Oh, that's hard to say.
Yeah, you can't tell. I love the blade. The blade is drawn really well over in the left hand.
John, yeah, great. It actually might be Frankie Ray Nova, that kind of female Torch.
Yeah,
because I think I think it doesn't look like how the Torch is. It does look like I think.
You also got Ghost Rider there, but I can't tell.
On
If you look really close in front of Gamora, you can see my man Raza about to hit Galactus with. You're right. There's a car.
it's really cool, man. Props to Greene. He drew the crap out of this.
Yeah, like a poster of this would be fantastic.
And no, that's really cool, man. On the left side, you got Shang-Chi. I always like to see Shang-Chi.
Yeah, it's always good to include Shang-Chi in there, even though his movie bombed.
Poor guy. Yeah. Poor guy. All right, now what's up next?
So, hold on, where are we at?
Oh yeah, on page 20, what's maybe my favorite line of the entire comic, which is Valeria talking to Doom, and it's like, "Oh, you know me, Uncle. I was never seduced by the short-term satisfaction. I've been more interested in survival, just like you." To which Doom replies, "No, Valeria. Doom does not."
Doom always endures. And we learned that in the previous run.
He does. I think this is the last time we're gonna play pick a favorite character on the splash. My character's going at Galactus, so you see some Guardians of the Galaxy, Guard, the Inhumans, the Starjammers. She's drawn a little smaller, you know.
Yeah, that makes sense. Where's his damn name? If you look front of, you can see my man Raza there.
Yeah, you'll love to see it.
They even you see it. It looks like smoke, but it's his hair.
It's his hair. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, that's really cool, man. I really like Beta Ray Bill, also known as Horse Thor, and
future Franklin should have been part of this lineup, but I don't see him.
Yeah, Ray Bill's head, and he's about to bring it down on Galactus. It's so cool.
And you've also got all the Inhumans on this page. You've got all the Guardians of the Galaxy. Who else? There's Corsair and the Starjammers.
Not all of them, because you have a few of the more overpowered Guardians on a later page.
Well, yeah, but you got the
more iconic ones.
Yeah, you got all the ones from the film that people actually know.
Yeah, yeah.
Is that Lalandra flying by his left hand, looking towards? Gladius is looking his right side, next to Star-Lord. Is that Lalandra flying?
Oh yeah. It might be Lalandra, but it also might be the new Empress of the Shi'ar, who's Lalandra and Charles's daughter, whose name I forget.
Spoilers.
She's got the thin blade coming down on the bottom.
Yeah, you got to hit the fin blade at the bottom. This one too. Jeez.
I like my man right above Raza. We got my man Karnak going. Yeah, Raza's going with his rapiers, but Karnak's just going with his bare hands.
Mallet thing.
Yeah. Hey man, he sees the flaw in everything. Yeah. Oh man, that's very cool. On page 22, we have his former heralds and the Kree and the Skrull. And then we have some of the more overpowered Guardians of the Galaxy page. That's Cosmic Ghost Rider.
Had no clue. You got to hit the fin blade at the bottom, Bob. How else is he going to catch the air in space?
Exactly. It's a very important part to his whole cosmic surfing thing, man.
We've got Ronan the Accuser down there with his big ass mallet thing. You got. He's going up against gods, and
Galactus already basically is God, and it's God.
That was stupid. Terrax, that axe, yeah. That's Dormammu, right? Is that who I'm seeing?
I don't think it's Dormammu. Guy? Oh, that's Cosmic Ghost Rider, aka
Back to the Future style type stuff, yeah.
Context.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look amazing, but at the same time, it's like, just to put it on, he has to drink Super Soldier Serum mixed with Celestial Blood. That alone is like some crazy shit right there. And armor's made of Uru, which is what Thor's hammer's made of, right?
Yep, that's right.
What Thor's hammer's made of, right?
Yep, that's right.
And it comes from the heart, and that type of metal comes from the heart of a dying star. So that's
where Odin and the dwarves get it from, baby.
And you got vibranium, which we all know is the best metal you can get.
He didn't show up in the Fantastic Four run, right? The Hickman run that we read,
right? Which is why I have no clue who they were. When I got to this part of the comic, I was lost. I'm like, I don't know who these people are, but they seem like they're pretty powerful. So
I might be wrong, but I think it's 3 different multiversal versions of the same guy.
They're pretty powerful. So
I might be wrong, but I think it's 3 different multiversal versions of the same guy. And he does show up in the Hickman Avengers run.
Is gonna be
Galactus already basically is God, and it's God versus gods.
Yeah. And I'm at the point in the Celestials standing in the middle of San Francisco on top of like the blood samples that the X Club collected when they went back in the future, Back to the Future style type stuff.
Yep.
Yeah.
To ask you at the run, and Gillen does some interesting things with it in his Uncanny run. But that said, it might be a couple of these, it might be all of these, it might be none of these. But you could see the captions at the end as Doom talking a little, but he doesn't really resolve it, if I'm remembering correctly. And there was a Eternals miniseries around that same time, but honestly, the first issue was so boring, I didn't keep going.
And there's like this one Celestial in the center here in this picture who's like sticking his hands out like come at me, bro. I like that guy. These guys have names, I'm sure. I'm just going to call them Celestials.
They do have names, but I don't. So you've hit I can never remember Celestial names.
Yeah. So I was good to get the Celestials part. Now, Bob, in a minute.
Also, we have the big splash page on 25. Cool gag that the top panel on 26 is the Celestial doing that. It's a really cool transition.
It's like you're going to. Of course, he pretty much tears them up and goes after their machine, which the universe killer. Which I don't know you would make a machine like that, but whatever.
Sometimes on page 29. If I'm understanding this correctly, and I may not be, 3 different multiversal versions of, but he doesn't. Hickman is very good at writing the Hickman run that we read.
Right.
He did it in, if I remember the last, it's we're trapped.
Powerful. So
I might be wrong, but I think it's 3 different multiversal versions of the same guy. And he does show up Hickman Avengers run if we read that. And he's important but minor in that run, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah, I had no clue who this guy was, but is he more powerful than the Celestials, or is he just...
Well, I think I might be wrong about this, but I think the Celestials have more raw. I think Molecule Man, Franklin, it's not looking super likely human. So I wanted to ask you at the end, Matt, and by Galactus, I mean Joe Biden. Be sure how to take them, like a couple of these, it might be all of these, it might be none of these, but you could see.
I will say, Bob, I agree with you. Hickman does write these like epic cosmic stories so well. Like he doesn't waste time showing you everything that happens in full detail, which is okay because he leaves some of it up to like interpretation. It gives you kind of a chance to
just thinking right before it could be an omniscient narrator, or it could be Val thinking about betraying her. I'm not how to take it.
So the way he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He just implies, this is what happened. Galactus murdered all of them.
Yeah.
You just skip and you can fill in the
you
just skip and you can fill in the blanks in your own mind. Some writers just go into so like little details.
You think it's just him talking to himself and not him talking to Valeria?
Yes, and he of course speaks in the in the third person, referring to himself as these are the last words. I think that's amazing to be able to tell that kind of story. I don't think he's actually saying these words.
Yeah,
like a voiceover if this was a movie.
Yeah. But he is using a lot of second person, which doesn't mean he's not talking to himself, but maybe he is talking to Valeria. But it doesn't necessarily mean that for sure. Though.
Yeah, I don't know, but regardless, pretty strong words here, Bob.
Pretty strong words.
Quite the cosmic tell. Jeez.
Yeah, I really do think like Hickman is very good at writing these like open-ended endings that are still very emotional. Like he did it in Inferno too. Like if I remember the last lines of Inferno, Hickman's need to show, explain, diagram versus willing to skip over and just kind of beat the FF run, like both this and Inferno. But I don't know. There also it does seem to be something about like there's a pun in the name that it's about Doctor Doom, but it's also facing death, facing the end. And I don't know. It hits me a lot. I don't know. His Gods miniseries, which I was really looking forward to, or I don't know. It's just that the world is worse 10 years later. But it's not looking super likely humans are going to survive this century. So I don't know.
Galactus is going to eat us.
Yeah. And by Galactus, I mean Joe Biden in a senile fit is going to launch nuclear weapons, or Trump in a senile fit of rage is going to weapons.
Well, I will say, Bob, I agree with you. Hickman does write these like epic cosmic stories so well. Like he doesn't waste time showing you everything that happens in full detail, which is okay because he to like interpretation. It gives you kind of a chance to fill in like the missing pieces, like all these battles that you could have gone into detail with some of that kind of stuff and shown the X-Men getting slayed one by one, or he doesn't do that.
Yeah.
He just implies this is what happened. Galactus murdered all of them. You just skip and you can fill in the blanks in your own mind. Some writers just go into so like little details. He kind of just tells you how the universe is going to. I was, in my teens, completely at that pace, and really make it happen.
Matt, did you want to hit us with your favorite page and line?
Yeah, my favorite page is definitely that splash page of page 18. Like I said, we could turn into a poster. Just those panels that are zoomed in on those characters' faces and their expressions,
like Hickman's need to show, explain.
While they think they're going to have this epic battle and defeat Galactus.
It is a really interesting tension, and it's I like a lot.
That's why Hickman is so successful with his writing.
Yeah, and I will say this also, I kind of started to worry about Hickman a little, just because recent Marvel projects, Spider-Man yet, but his Gods miniseries, which I was really looking forward to, and then the Ultimate Invasion miniseries, I just didn't really dig either of them. I think I only did like 2 issues of Gods. I'll someday read the whole thing. Maybe my opinion will change, or I'll appreciate it. Invasion weren't really doing it for me, and be like, yeah, no,
it'd be great. Bob, I would rank this below Hickman's FF, but above Werewolf by Night. I mean, but there's not.
Would call like straight up bad. Gods was just. I don't know. Maybe Gods was the closest, really.
Belt.
Although, with your favorite page,
that's Galactus. Whereas with the FF, I mean, you're getting all those characters, all those different things going on. It's just there's a lot more involvement to it. They're going to have this epic battle and defeat Galactus. I mean, they have no chance in hell. Like it's
all right.
I mean, come on. Like this is not a very good ranking right now. We need to get a couple more episodes under our belt.
Yeah, I'm willing. Yeah, well, that's the sad thing about it. If we do Hickman's Avengers next, it's going to be
let's just rank Hickman's
all Hickman list. Yeah. I'll go with you. Although a part of me wants to say that I appreciate the concentration of Doom a little more than I do of Hickman's Fantastic Four run, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think you're right that even though the concentration is an advantage, there is just so much more going on in Fantastic Four by Hickman. So we'll put Sanford, Greene, and John Hickman.
Well, and the only thing to this too is the only real characterization you're getting here, or character development you're getting, is Doom and Valyria, and kind of Galactus. Whereas with the FF, I mean, you're getting all those characters, all those different things going on. It's just there's a lot more involvement to it.
I do like that we have 2 one-shots on here. That we have Werewolf by Night and Doom. Marvel should keep putting out these one-shots. I'm enjoying them.
Oh yeah, I think it's nice to get an entire story just in one issue, as opposed to having to collect and keep on and go week to week.
Yeah. Well, and that's also like, I feel like it's just hard to be a comics review podcast because my impulse is I really want to review these things when they're done, so you can actually say things about how they've evolved, right?
Right.
But I feel like the impulse in comics media is so much to talk about them when they start, and then you just don't talk about them after the second issue.
Yeah, and that's not very good coverage. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh well. Are you still leaning to us doing the John Hickman Avengers as the kind of lead up to the Avengers Alien crossover?
Yeah, sure. That sounds great.
All right. Cool. So much Hickman, but yeah, I mean, when else is it going to make sense to do his Avengers run with this Alien thing coming out? All right. Well, this has been Uncanny Treks, covering the one-shot Doom by Sanford, Greene, and John Hickman. Great comic. Really love to see these 2 guys cooking. I'm Bob in Cascadia. That's Matt in the Southland. Have a good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening.